This is the first time this has happened. All right, I'm gonna jump back into it since you guys can hear me now. Um, so we've gained 1,000 new members in the past 30 days in Discord. Okay, so the city is growing at a rapid rate. It's really great to see. Um, we've had 1,573 unique players, and we're averaging 341 unique players per day, which is really great to see. That's 340 different people you guys can interact with throughout the day, depending on when you're around. The whitelist server just hit a year, so we'll be celebrating a year of Horizon Whitelist, which is pretty cool. That we've made it this far, and we're just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is great to see. I'm gonna start off with some less exciting news for everyone to hear, and then we'll get into the exciting stuff. Okay. Um, Motorcycles are a major issue in the server right now with criminal actions. It's very obvious that bikes are being used as a let's get chased for 30 seconds in a base Sultan and then jump out in the middle of the intersection, jump on a motorcycle and just fly away. Okay. As a staff team, we discussed about making a rule against this. I did not want to do that because it then is rule play over role play, and I don't need people timing 3 minutes and all that type of shit. But on the flip side, as criminals, just know that unplanned bike swaps will be met with shooting of tires from the PD. If we've seen some very, very cool bike swaps in the past that are set up, planned. Those are fine. But the just roll up on a bike because your buddy's in trouble in the middle of Legion and swap in the middle of the street, those will be met with a certain response from PD. And I'm telling you guys all this, and I expect, there to be no molding about it in city, okay? Because that is going to be the response you guys will get. The health between PD and the crims right now is kind of 50-50 in my opinion. There's been some really good interactions, but there's also been cops that, are taking things way too, taking things to heart. And on the other side of that, there's a lot of crim molding going on right now and a lot of, complaining and crying when you're down and all that type of stuff. I say this a million times. You guys that have been around forever have heard me say this. Cops are not game mechanics. Okay. Cops are here to role play. If a cop pulls you over for a speeding ticket, give him some interaction. Don't call your buddies to come roll up and shoot him because he's going to give you a fucking $50 speeding ticket, or don't turn it into some big crazy chase that is, it's just, we need to start looking at things that way. Everything doesn't need to turn out into a big chase or a shootout. A lot of times cops will pull you over and it'll end in a warning, but they're just trying to get RP and have a scene. There's been some very unnecessary aggression towards the cops in certain situations on the south side. The other day a cop pulled someone over for speeding and class 2s were just loaded into the guy's car with no interaction, no nothing. So we really need to, I'm not saying the south side shouldn't press cops off their block, but they also shouldn't try to murder cops for writing someone a speeding ticket. So we need to get better at that stuff. Seems like we're always talking about it. OOC talking about other cities while you're in city, like all that shit needs to stop. We need to start, or we need to stop avoiding interactions. Okay. There's a lot of that going on right now too, where it almost feels like, you're playing a World of Warcraft, and you're just grinding and grinding and grinding and avoiding interactions. A good example is, people will be working at PDM and people will just run into PDM, not even acknowledge that there's someone there selling cars, and just run straight to the catalog, look at a car and run out of the building. Like that is not role play. And it's happening a lot. Spam jumping. Okay. Those of you that are new, I got rid of being able to jump after your second jump for a long time. And everyone hated it, but there was a reason why we did it. I finally caved in and I said, okay, I will remove that, but people are going to get banned for spam jumping. Okay. So again, this is just a warning to the community. Do not spam jump. Um, it's unrealistic. It's stupid. It's power gaming. I mean, just it's, do not do it, please. As far as criminals go, the DOJ is very active right now, and I really want people to start focusing on utilizing the DOJ if they feel like they've been wronged by a cop, opposed to complaining about it in support text OOC. We really need to start utilizing the channels that we have in the server to you know get the result we're looking for. Um, every interaction with the cop is not supposed to be you know perfect. Cops have different personalities, crims have different personalities. We need to start identifying that on both sides, and just rolling with the RP. So again, this is the housekeeping stuff. Let's get better at it, and let's move on as a community. Okay. I'm going to jump into the roadmap now because this is a big thing going on right now. So we have recently brought on two new, very, very, very qualified developers. They both have extensive experience in the FiveM world of development, as well as experience in IT, which is great for Horizon because that's something that I don't have, right? So you guys notice we switched servers again. We did that because, um, we're able to do a lot more with optimization of the server and the database and the security now that we have someone who knows all about networking and infrastructure and database and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great. That's why we did that swap the other day. It's kind of the beginning stages of optimization. When you have a server with 120 people in it, it's going to run one way. When you bump the number up to 140, it's going to run a different way. When you go to 160, when you go to 180 to 200 to 250. So we are putting a full court press on server optimization. We've kind of finished the first phase of that. Now we're in the phase of script optimization for certain things. So that's exciting stuff. Those of you that, are experiencing some type of headaches, things like that, those will subside. Our devs are actively working on, that optimization for the client side of scripts, which is, your guys' computers essentially. So that's in the works. Crims, we got a new heist coming out this month. It's all done, ready to drop. I've been sprinkling new blueprints into the city. We got a lot of cool crime stuff coming for you guys. Kind of the phase 2 of the crime update. We're on track to continuously drop new heists and criminal activities on a monthly basis. All 100% custom, not seen in any other server because we're writing them all from scratch. So this new heist that's coming out is really cool. It's unique. I've never seen it anywhere. So I'm excited to get that into the server. It'll be in the server in September at some point. I'm not going to announce when I drop it because I want it to be organically discovered, and a lot of role play is going to go behind that. The new mechanic script that we've been talking about for ages is finally in a very stable spot. So Redmond and Ray are going to start working on that. The new mechanic script's awesome. It's packed full of features. It's going to get rid of a lot of bugs that you guys experience now with your cars. Losing upgrades, losing liveries, all that shit. So
new damage models and stuff like that as well.
yeah,
So
yeah, realistic
stalling,
damages, stalling, seat belts, racing harnesses, vehicle stancing, which is a big thing for all you tuner vehicle lovers out there. It's a ton of customization. It's going to allow the mechanic shops to create their own parts, I believe. Am I saying that right, Ray? I think so.
Uh,
Yeah,
yes
through
and
their
no.
menu. Yeah, just a lot more customization. Um, okay, housing. I know, I know that we have been talking about housing for a while. We did a housing wipe. We did a change. It, for my liking, it was extremely underwhelming. The individual who's no longer in the community, who was on staff, really dropped the ball on the promises that they made that they were going to follow through with when it comes to the seamless apartments and all that stuff. Um, so I have good news and not so good news for housing. The good news is we have a new system. It's pretty much done, and it's absolutely incredible. It's packed full of features. You guys can literally build your own houses in the server. You go into your shell and it's a blank slate. You can put floors, walls, doors, stairs, you name it. You can literally build your own house. You can change the wall colors. I mean, it's really, really just a really cool script. And the nice thing about this one is it's all open source. Open source means we have access to all the code base, so we can modify and edit whatever we please. It's not locked. So we're gonna release shortly a trailer for housing, just to kind of you guys can see what you're gonna be getting, and it is gonna come with a housing wipe, and this is gonna be the last housing wipe, hopefully ever, or for a very long time. But real estate, the current house is being sold. Real estate has been warning people, hey, you can buy a house, but just know this is coming. So, um, I think the pros and the cons, or the pros heavily outweigh the cons of having to do another housing wipe. I mean, you guys, the customization is just insane. You can turn the lights on and off in the houses. I mean, there's some illegal activities that can happen in the houses now. Like, there is a seamless apartment where you'll be able to rent apartments it's an MLO, Tinsel Towers, I think it is. Um, and then there's also apartments that you can teleport into, but very interactive. So you'll be in the same when you go into the apartment, you'll be in the same world ID as other people. So you'll still be able to interact within the apartment. There's moving elevators. It's a whole bunch of cool stuff. So we have that coming. I am going to give the community a very adequate amount of time to prepare yourselves for this. We will put those vans back in server like we did in the last housing update. We want to make this as easy as possible for you guys. You are going to lose storages. You're going to lose everything housing related. Okay. Again, it's just a necessary evil. I hate to do it. It's always the last resort, but you got to do what you got to do. So we will make it as easy as possible for you guys. I don't want to see complaining. I don't, like all that shit is for children. We're all in this together. This is what's best for the community. When it comes to housing, it's going to highly improve the optimization of the server. The way the props are spawned now are very heavy on your guys' client, which makes you lag and lose FPS and all that kind of stuff. So this is a huge upgrade. Please, we don't need any whining and support text about it. It is what it is. All right. We have a new queue system that we're building ourselves. So no more golden ticket for all you golden ticket lucky people. That's going to be gone. We will look at increasing server pop as we need to. We want to make sure the server's stable to facilitate those increases. Again, those increases are fully determined on the role play going on in the server. If the role play is good, we let more people in. If the role play is bad, we limit the amount of people that can get in. That's how it's been since day one of whitelist, and that's how it's going to remain. We'd rather have 160 really good role players in the server than 160 really good role players and 100 not good role players, right? So that's kind of been the model since whitelist. The old roadmap that you guys saw with the new servers, those are still going to be something that'll be worked on and released. They are completely different style of servers to the whitelist server. So those of you that were concerned in the past about, oh, we're going to lose population and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to, the servers are not going to pull from other other Horizon servers. So that's on the horizon as well. We are getting a complete UI refresh again. With the addition of the new developers, they have a lot of experience in UI, so that's going to be, that just opens up our opportunity for new things. So that is one of them. Dexter and the design team is working with the developers to do a UI refresh. We've rebranded our colors a little bit. So those will, you guys will see those and changes as they come into the server. Another development thing that I want to talk about is crashes. When you guys crash and you get rage errors and you open tickets with screenshots, we can do nothing for you. We cannot help you. That's not the information we need. Okay. We need your crash log. The message when you crash says you can download and save your log. That's what you need to open tickets with on crashes. If you open crashes and there's screenshots, those tickets are going to be immediately closed because we cannot help you. The screenshots are useless. We need to be able to get into the logs, which are thousands of lines, and read through them to figure out why you crashed, and if we can help you on that. Most rage errors are client-sided issues. Okay, so that's us helping you, your client, which is your PC, right? So just keep that in mind. We need crash logs. All right. Lastly, I just again want to thank everyone for being here. All the new people. It's great to see we have almost 200 people in this community meeting. Probably one of the biggest we've ever had. Sorry about my my voice box issues earlier. I am gonna pass it off to Russ now, and he's gonna talk about streamer stuff. Hopefully his audio is working.
Hello.
You guys hear him?
So,
Yep.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
I'll go.
Yep.
sweet. All right. So, a week or so ago, we had a meeting with some of the streamers that we could get on short notice. It was a pretty big meeting for what it was worth. Got a lot talked about, a lot done. With that meeting came the need and the want for a streamer support, a streamer tag, a streamer, all sorts of things. So what Alyssa and Caesar have put together a list of things. Alyssa's gone and made that list. There's now a ticket that you can open. When you go to open up all the other tickets, there's a general ticket there that you can open. That's for streamer support. The application to get the role will be through the website. And so when you get that, it's going to have the list of all the different stipulations that Alyssa's kind of laid out in order to get that role and what to do with that. Everything's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to pull it open here and read them off. But like I said, everything on there is pretty straightforward. What you need to do, and it goes both ways. It's supposed to help the streamer out, and obviously helps us out by streamers, getting the name of the city out there and everything else. So what's going to happen is you can sign up for that. Alyssa and Caesar are going to be the kind of the head staff when it comes to the streaming side of things. If you guys have questions about that, you guys open up those tickets, scroll down. It's going to be to the bottom of the general tickets. And we've got that going for you guys now. We've got kind of the stuff that we talked about, moving from that meeting. Again, I think we're going to have questions at the end of this too. So if you guys have any questions that you can't answer yourself by going and looking at the ticket or going and looking at those bullet points, all those bullet points and stipulations are put in the ticket as well. So if you go to open the ticket, that little first welcome message header that tells you how to kind of format your ticket will have all those stipulations in there, as well as the announcement that was made yesterday. That announcement is all those same bullet points and has the application right there directly on it for you guys to fill out if you guys want to go ahead and do that. But that's on you guys. No one's got to do that. We're not asking people to stream, but it's for the people who, already do or want to get into it or whatever, that all of this stuff is available for you guys now. So thanks, Alyssa, for putting that together and kind of spearheading that, and Caesar for helping out. And to all the streamers who came to that meeting, I think it was a helpful meeting. We can have them more often if you guys would like. For people who didn't make it, because I did see tickets open up after the meeting about what had gone on and what had gotten said and things like that. I'm not sure if the recording got posted anywhere, but I know there is a recording, so if anyone wants to listen to that, or we'll get that up somewhere. I'll talk to Caesar. I'm pretty sure he's the one who did it, so we can get that up for you guys and everything else. So if you guys have questions, go ahead and open up those tickets, and the proper staff team will get back to you.
Perfect. Exciting stuff. A lot of perks that will be, thrown out there for the consistent streamers as well, or the verified streamers. So very exciting. All right, Star, you want to jump into your stuff?
Yo, hello. So I manage our clothing team here for people who are new. And I have some exciting news for the current gangs that are both registered and have their compounds. We're going to be allowing a third gang item. So if you could please open a clothing ticket with your items, and we can get them put into the city for you. I do want to clarify some of the requirements for the gang stuff. We have a specific team that works specifically with groups or gangs. If you have questions or need help with that, you can open a group ticket and we can help. As far as requirements go, when you are registering, we don't process the registration right away, especially when you're brand new to the city. And the reason is because things change as you come into a new city. Groups split up, they go different ways, join other groups. So we don't typically register right away. We do look at your playtime, how long you've been here, what RP we've seen and experienced with you or just spectating you before we do actually go through with the registration. When you are approved for registration, the group leader will get a group leader role, and that's how you know if it was approved or not. You'll be able to see the channel where we communicate with those groups in order to get to the point where you get your clothing. And this is kind of MCs are a little bit are treated differently, so I'm just talking about regular groups, not MCs. You don't get any of your clothing items or like your items until you purchase your compound. You purchase your compound in city. We don't. You earn everything through RP here. Nothing is bought with IRL money. So you do need to talk to real estate about purchasing your compound. We do have preset ones that we already have that are already quoted out. And then there's RP behind, if there's a weird place you're looking for as well. But everything revolves around roleplay. We're not going to just hand things out immediately day one when you're here. It's just not going to happen. For MCs, it is a little bit different. After your registration has been accepted, that's when you're going to get your cuts. You need to be in the city and spend time in the city before we're going to give you anything. And that is not only for optimization reasons, putting things in and taking them out like crazy, just keeping things orderly and honestly fair for everybody, because everybody should put in time before being rewarded with anything, and we've always felt that way. I think that's it for me. I think that's all I had.
Thank you. I'm sure Maverick's in here. Tony Soprano robe. Been waiting like 6 months for it.
It's been longer than that.
Throwing it out there.
I'm under the bus.
Mav. Oh, I did in front of 200 people. It felt good. All right, we're gonna open up the questions. If you guys want to jump on, ask a question, please keep it to questions, not statements. Ask one question. We're gonna answer your question, and then we're gonna move on. It's not, your most important question is what you need to ask. Okay. We got a lot of people in here, and we want to get to everyone. So
Mav
if you
would
wanna
like
jump
to
on
talk,
stage-
actually, if you want to pull him up real quick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Explain.
Request to speak.
Yeah. So has anyone got anything? Here he is. Oh, here he is. Yeah. Let's bring him up. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I just want to say that I had communicated to Star that the Tony Soprano robe was not doable.
Lies.
You said because you couldn't make it flowy, and I did tell him that. He doesn't care about flowy.
Lies.
I also
Absolute
reached out to
lies.
you about making custom props, and you never responded. So you know.
Absolute lies. Absolute lies. All right.
Yeah.
Next. Come on. Where's Vinny Linguini? I mean, what's going on here?
I actually
Now you
have a
got
few
something to say.
questions.
All right, Bubbles. Oh, there he is. There he is.
It's like
Fantastic.
Beetlejuice. Say his name
Fantastic.
enough.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Bubbles?
So one thing that I've noticed is car balancing. And I know that, cars are something that are, beloved to everybody in the server. We all like our cars and everything. Having driven quite a few cars in all different classes, from C to S, and then driving a CVPI for the first time last night on my cop character, I think there's a disparity between some of the cars that are out there for the public and some of the cars that the police have. So, if that's in a good place and you guys are happy with it, that's fine. But I do want to bring up the stark contrast between the way PD cars seem to handle and the way that a $400,000 S class that someone worked really hard for handles. So.
Way to frame that
Um,
question. That was
yeah.
great frame. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
talking about-
So the
yeah, I just
the
wanted to bring it
cops,
up,
the cop cars are going to have better handling because they don't know where they're going. They have to follow every chase. So for that to be the kind of stipulation we're running on, like you said, you just drove a car for the first time, and I don't think there's a $400,000 S class vehicle that is being sold by anyone, by any of the mechanic shops or any of the car dealerships. Is there?
Yeah, there's that new Ferrari that's coming in the Omaggio. I test drove it the other day without upgrades, obviously. But the point I'm trying to make is that all the civilian cars, they feel very stiff, very difficult to turn, and then the PD cars feel like they are very, very agile. I think the question here is it worth looking at that to maybe bridge the gap a little bit? Because it does feel like people that are using those cars in a criminal way or potentially even just racing or anything. Yeah,
I'm going to let the person who just spent the last 2 weeks on stream doing all the cars talk about it.
Yeah.
Ray,
Yeah. Okay.
kind of let you have a moment to get yourself together there.
Yeah,
So
I
go
suppose-
ahead.
I suppose
I'm on the
I
spot,
suppose
man. I mean,
I was
God.
kind of probably
Oh,
bad about
that's-
didn't speak. But yeah. No. So when it comes to S-Class vehicles, so the way that it used to be is they all used to have a certain handling flag on them which did the increased downforce, which was great for the people that were doing S-Classes, and the fact that you could just use your W key and then, off you go. You can take a corner like no one's business. You're a fucking train on rails. That changed, and it's been a bit of a shock to some people in terms of their driving style. The way that the S classes are tuned and the A classes are tuned, because all I did was A class and S class. So take B and C's out of the mix. I still got
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
go back and go back and look at that sort of stuff. A class vehicles have very strict parameters when it comes to acceleration, top speed, and the way that their suspension and anti-roll bar is dealt with. So it's the same with A's, same with S's, and that's literally the way that it's done. That is the amount of acceleration they get in terms of actual statistics. There's a vehicle debugger to do that as well, to keep a track of all of that. And so A classes around the track will do sort of like a 4-minute 50. S classes will do a 4-minute 35. There's a 15-second disparity between those two classes. Then you've got the other thing when it comes to that is the fact that cops. Let's say that a normal patrol car is coming around, and you say you've got 3 or 4 maybe on duty patrol cars going around. An S class boost comes up, right? Those A class vehicles need to be able to keep in a distance with those, but not necessarily gain with absolute ease, right? Until an interceptor can come along if it's an S-class boost. If it's an A-class boost, they should have sort of like a little bit of a problem, but not too much, right? It should be down to those drivers to come up with good driving and good tactics to get away, and that comes to sort of like planning your routes or other stuff like that. So those police cars are doing sort of like they're doing like an A plus style handling, and that comes to both the suspension, roll bar, acceleration, and top speed. So if you're doing an S class boost without any upgrades, it should be fairly comparable. When it comes to an S class with upgrades, S classes actually are 6 seconds faster if you those to optimize their driving. Obviously, you can argue that the way that I do it is the fact that there's no traffic or anything like that. Yeah, traffic is a variable, but I can't do those sorts of variables because that's just not how that works.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes to stiffness, actually, when it comes to the suspension types and stuff like that, the S classes have a different handling on it, which means that when it comes to bumps or curbs or anything like that, you actually feel little to no difference when it comes to steering because it glides over them in that sort of way, whereas the cop cars do not. So if you feel there's a disparity between it, I'll have a look, but there is certainly no intention for
Oh,
it
of
to be the
course.
fact that if
Yeah.
cars feel stiffer. That's like some of the cars will feel stiffer because a lot of the time that, and I said this on stream many times as well, when it comes to doing modifications on cars, right? This is a part of 5M, and it's how that 5M is done. Visual modifications all have weight. If you've got a car that has a shit ton of visual modifications, you're adding weight to the car, which behaves almost in the way that you'd have an extra person in the car. If there's two people in the car, it will always drive slower. One person will go faster. The cosmetics add weight, and on top of that, if you add suspension to your car, it does not necessarily mean it's going to be better, because what you're doing is you're lowering that car, and by lowering that car, that means you're going to feel bumps a lot differently, and the way car's going to turn is going to be a lot different. So if a lot of that feeling, if it's your cars have got suspension on, maybe remove it, because I tune all the cars without suspension because I leave it up to you guys to choose how you want your driving style.
I think that's great. I mean, I've noticed that as well with the suspension and kind of the cosmetics and stuff. And thank you for providing some clarity.
Oh no, all good.
Yeah, no, and I just want to clarify. Like, I don't want cars to be on rails. I like skill based driving. I think it's great. It actually shows who can actually drive.
Yeah.
I just wanted to maybe bring it up to your attention that it feels like maybe the gap between the cars maybe need to be narrowed just a little bit. The
Well,
second thing.
with A classes or S class, sorry.
I would just
Or
say
just in general.
I would say probably in the A and the S class. Yeah, I feel like just the handling, not even the acceleration. I'm not talking about just on the straight or anything. The cars are fast. The cars are fast. It just feels like some of the cop cars are able to keep that speed into turns where other cars that you feel like would be able to keep that speed since the update, you really have to be very careful or you're going to lose control of the car. You have to crank the wheel all the way.
Well, the
I feel like it could
difference
be
with
minor
some of them-
adjustments. I don't think
yeah,
it needs to be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, with some of them, so all S classes they should do the exact same lap time on the dot.
Gotcha.
And
Awesome.
a lot of people on the stream would have seen my frustration with some of them. It's because I've got to drive them very differently. So for example, I think it was the Comet S2, for example. So that particular one is one where you've got to let the engine deceleration do its thing when you're doing a
Yes.
corner. It's much faster.
Yeah.
As opposed to some other ones where if you brake further back, but then literally power through once your car's turned at a much earlier point, you're actually faster than the one that can just W its way around.
Just right around. Yeah. No, that makes complete sense. I had the Comet.
yeah.
It was actually very fun to drive.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it is like that. So a lot of, like, I mean, Redmond will be laughing his ass off because he always thinks that my cars are understeering. So he'll love the fact that you brought this up.
Nice.
But there are other cars which obviously have oversteer. It's just a matter of learning cars.
Yeah.
And their driving style. I'm trying to make it a bit more fun rather than them all being just one. type of style. 'Cause otherwise, that's just boring.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Um,
that. I think variety is definitely
it,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'll have a look at the cop stuff. I've like as I said, I did what 50 different Civ cars. It's much easier if I do the PD cars rather than doing all Civ cars again.
Yeah, yeah,
If
and I think
if
that
there
would
is
be helpful to look at if you guys decide that it's it's good where it is. Totally fine. I just wanted to bring it up. The second thing, I know a lot of the racers have been talking about this in server and RP. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the script is escrowed, but the racing script, the phasing that only lasts 1 minute. Is there any way to
Nope.
allow?
Nope.
There's no
Nope.
way to increase
Nope.
that at all. Okay.
Nope. 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 Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Nope.
Gotcha.
So
Is that
phasing, we used to have phasing on all the time. It just doesn't. It just destroys role play for cops. Like
We
there's
talked about a lack of RP before. That really makes a lack of RP.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just yeah.
The only reason I bring it up is because we have a lot of different people from all over the world playing in the server. Everyone has different ping and connection. Bubbles are a
Yeah.
massive problem, and we have a really big racing scene right now. And so, obviously, there probably would be an adaptation in terms of PD interacting with races. But I think for the sake of the racing scene, it should be something to be considered. Because right now, a lot of people aren't even racing because when 20 people show up, after that phasing goes off, someone's 3-4 car lengths in front of you, and then you just get slammed into a wall all of a sudden, and it just takes the fun out of it. So I do think it's something maybe to look at. I do think that if it is implemented, obviously the criminals have to show some respect to the cops. Like
Well, that's
getting
what's
chased
not.
after
That's
and
what.
stuff like that.
I'll be honest with you, Bubbles. That's what's not happening right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you this as a cop. When a cop rolls up to a race about to start, and the criminals just like giggle and laugh and then start the race instead of saying, "Oh shit, the cops are here. We need to disperse." It doesn't feel like RP. It feels like I'm playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
I mean, I think that's fair, but I mean,
You know what I
they're
mean?
also
Like,
street racers.
there's
Yeah, they're
there's
also,
yeah,
they're
but
there for a reason, right?
if
Yeah,
if
but the
street
cops are there for a reason too, if we're using that
Yeah.
same logic.
yeah,
You know what I
like
mean? Like the
I agree with you.
the logic that anyone can use definitely goes 100 or goes both ways,
Oh,
and
I
I
agree.
think that definitely gets lost. And so instead
Yeah.
of implementing things to change that, we need somehow to change the mindset instead
no,
of
Yeah.
changing the mechanics to
I
everything.
agree, but I
And
think
that goes for
the
a
reason-
lot of stuff too, not just the
No,
racing scene.
I 110% agree with you. 110%. The only reason I'm bringing it up is because races have become more of a headache because of issues that are not RP. It's become, just getting slammed by someone that's not even close to you, or you can't take a line, you can't pass somebody because you don't know how close you can get to that car in front of you before you bubble them into a wall at 145 miles an hour. So that's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because the racing scene is fucking awesome. There's a ton of RP in it. There's a lot of people that are in it. I mean, literally, there was like 40 people that showed up to a race a week ago. That's a lot of people in a 140 person server. That's a sizable portion.
yeah,
so
but
yeah,
my question there is like, well, we can sidebar it. We can sidebar a racing conversation because I think we'll have a racing scene meeting at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
Because although you guys think the RP might be great and there's a lot of people involved, from an objective looking outside in, not doing racing, looking overall at the big bubble, right? It's not as good as you guys think right now. It's causing a lot of unnecessary interaction
collateral,
and
yeah.
collateral amongst the city because of the way the races are being taken and done. There's a huge lack of role play, respect to other things going around the racing scene. They think that it's just it's something we need to sidebar. Because I could talk.
I'd be happy.
I could talk about racing for 2 hours.
Yeah, for sure.
So we can sidebar it.
Yeah,
And this isn't specific to the racing scene either, but more of like a general statement.
Yeah.
That when people say like it's creating really good RP, what they really mean is within that one group or whatever is going on. And I'm just saying it because it triggered my mind on this statement. It's more of a general statement, so don't take it personally. But when people tend to say it creates such good RP, it's such good RP, it's usually within that one group and doesn't extend the RP outside of that group or outside of whatever that is doesn't look at it the same way. So that's just one of the things that we're really trying to like get back to where we think it should be is the RP base for everyone. You know, the cops that show up that want to RP as a cop and want to come and do certain things, or you know, the crims that don't just get shit on or whatever it might be. Like, there's got to be a better mindset, like in general, for everybody going around.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, no,
But-
I agree completely.
We can sidebar it.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Thanks,
Cool.
guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate your time.
Bubbles. Yep. All right.
Oh God.
Here we go. Here we go. What do you got? What do you got? Give me something good.
All right. We'll start with the first one. Are any plans, or will there be any adjustments made for boosting ATMs, etc., that are dependent
already
on
gotten
the
done.
tsunami?
Already done.
Okay.
just- I just didn't make a change log about it, but we've.
No,
Yeah.
you did actually. I thought.
Did I? I think I put it in dev chat, but I forgot to post it in change
I
logs.
don't, yeah, I
Probably.
don't keep it public. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I need to post those change logs. But yeah, that's already been taken care of.
Pets.
Pets,
What's up with them?
they're coming back.
When?
When I'm ready
How
to
dare you ask that?
bring them back. No, there's a map conflict right now. And there's other things that have taken higher precedent over that map conflict. So probably sometime next week we'll figure out the map conflict. And then once we get that done, I can put the new pet system in. The new pet system is fucking sweet. But the new pet shop is a block away from the brunch box. And we just need to get that conflict worked out. So
This is kind of niche, but I had somewhat of an issue recently where it kind of felt like staff members weren't on the same page on a particular situation, and I know that I've heard other people complain about maybe that being the case for whatever their niche issue was. And I didn't know if there was like something maybe being implemented to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Maybe like, hey, we've talked to this
Just
person, and
the
this
problem. So here's the problem. Here's the issue, and this is why this is happening. A lot of you guys are friends with staff members, and you don't open the proper tickets, and you'll have like a casual conversation with a staff member on a side note, and then they might not know the answer. You know what I mean? Like, that casual conversation turns into an official conversation, but the only official conversations with staff is through tickets, in my eyes, right? I can't keep track of, who's talking to who as
That's why we
friends.
tell people not to DM
Yeah.
people, not to have
Yeah,
if someone has a
so-
problem in city, open a ticket.
Well,
'cause
if
that
they're-
way it does get no, not to mean if your friends don't DM people. I just mean if you're talking about an in-city issue or something like that. That's why we ask
Yeah.
those things to be in tickets, is because
We created specific groups for tickets, right? So if you have a gang issue, if you have a business issue, if you have a player report, you know what I mean? So
Well, I guess here's my particular issue. Maybe that you can just iterate on it a little bit more. But I guess we're being told not to ask for money from groups by staff members, and then having a staff member's character ask us for money in a conflict situation. And then,
well,
and
that's
even
that's a
and-
situational thing. You know
but-
that, bro.
Right, and I understand that, but even going and asking people for like materials or asking for people for this, that, or the third, like especially when it comes to materials, they're just gonna go buy it anyways, and it just seems kind of like a little bit of a roundabout way to just being asking for money.
That was a very situational thing, Vinny. That wasn't.
Yeah, it's just all situational though.
Like if you
I'll
want to,
give
if you want to
I'll give
open
you an
that,
example. I'll give you an example. I have a vested interest in a piece of this, right? One of your guys comes in and takes my fucking employee hostage and takes him out of the store. I go, hey, you owe me 25 G's for the troubles. That's okay. Right? That's a situational thing. You go up to some guy and say, you fucking ugly, give me 100K. Go back to your boss, tell him he owes me 100K. That's not, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's
100%.
there's no solid answer, or there's no set in stone answer to that. And so it's very situational. And plus different groups, money means, well, money should mean different things to different groups, right? And some groups do very well with, showing that money is not their ultimate goal, you know? So it just depends. I mean, it's the style of RP, right?
Right.
Southside gangs, they generally aren't asking for money, right? They should be asking for drugs, just different type of shit like that. But yeah, situational. So
Okay. I honestly don't have a whole lot this time. When is the crime update coming?
what do you mean?
Or the second part 2 of the crime update?
Oh, that'll take a few months, but we're still gonna release new heists and shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So we still got to storyboard that and then work it all out. So
Still a lot to figure out, by the way.
yeah.
You guys all complain about baggies and everything else. You guys don't need to.
Oh
another
yeah,
crime
that's
update.
Can we get Boris hints of the week again, or
that's another thing too. Is you guys haven't figured out a lot of shit still, per usual. You guys think you figured stuff out, but there's still a lot out there to figure out. So
well, there's
And
no
the other thing
text
too
in there.
about the timings of things, most of those did not rely on tsunamis. Like, just to go back to the ATMs and like the pawn shop and stuff like that, that's all in city based of what happens in city. It's got nothing to do with tsunamis.
yeah,
So
there was only
us going,
very few things that had to do with the
yeah,
tsunami.
us going from 3 to 2 tsunamis only really mess with boosting if we're really talking about
Yeah.
things.
Boosting and shopping.
Yeah.
So all right, cool.
Yeah, and then I do have a few things that I want to talk to you in private, but I'll talk to you
All right.
about that later.
Yep. Sounds good. All right, we're gonna bring on Strawn. We're gonna try to get through these quick, guys.
Hey,
All right. What's up, Monster?
I want to say I have been enjoying a lot of the new updates and things that have been happening with these latest releases. It's been a lot of fun getting back into it. I was wondering though if there's any plans to expand on things like non-criminal social activities, like
Yeah, big plans. Big
okay.
plans.
I know.
One of our
Mhm.
new devs is very, very big on that stuff. When our good friend Boris loves the crime and cop shit, right?
Yeah.
So one of our new devs is really big on all that type of social stuff and the Civ stuff. I can tell you that all these holidays coming up, there's going to be a lot of cool things for Halloween and for holiday season, all that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
yes, arcade is getting reworked right now. I know that. Yeah. So if you guys have suggestions, throw them in the, supportive suggestions, things like that.
I think, and speaking from experience on and how I've seen those interactions in the past, I think for me, like some big suggestions would be with an arcade rework, if it's possible, the way those games work, options that allow like a persistent leaderboard or high score system that somebody else can go to that machine and check and be like, oh, well, I'm going to beat this high score. That kind of drives a little fun competitive edge there. And then things like just simple things like playing darts, pool. Like I would love if we could have a better pull script. I know it's probably escrowed or whatever, but if there could be a way to make one that you could actually that works a bit better, I think that'd be a lot
Really,
a pretty
it's
huge
really,
hit.
that's really, I mean, it's something we could look into, but it's very challenging just because there is limitations to GTA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And things like those interactive things like that are not as easy as they would appear to be from a code perspective, just because the limitations in the code of GTA and 5M itself.
Gotcha.
So
Or like, just imagine if you went down to the Del Perro Pier and they had like carny games. Like,
I had that in the server for a while and no one used it.
oh, that's a thing.
That's that's the one thing that I've always given pushback for is with the fun stuff is it's very like we use it for a week and then it just never gets touched again, and then it's just a wasted resource in the server. Like I used to have the whole pier where you could ride the roller coasters and do all that type of shit, and no one ever fucking used it. They used
Right.
it for a week and then it just,
Yeah,
So-
I remember we would go by as a group and do it every once in a while, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So, and it's just a wasted resource at that point. So, but yeah, we're gonna redo paintball, maybe laser tag, shit like that. And get paintball back into the server. All that good fun stuff you can do as a civ and with your friends, and it's not too serious, So
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
cool. All right. Thanks, brother.
Whoa.
Marcos, what's up, buddy?
I just had a quick question. I know last community meeting you brought up the DMV is supposedly going to be doing like vehicle registrations.
Oh yeah. I
Is
forgot
that
to talk
going to
about the
come around
DMV.
soon?
Yeah, we're gonna be writing our own custom DMV stuff. So it's actually really exciting stuff. I'm so sorry Molly asked me to talk about it and I totally forgot. Yeah, so the DMV is gonna everything's gonna shift to the DMV eventually. They're gonna do all the registration of vehicles, even any obtained vehicle. So if you go to PDM and buy a vehicle, it will not be registered until you get it registered at the DMV. It'll create a lot of RP. They'll be doing all the driving courses to get your licenses, all that stuff. So, and those will be civ jobs, a whitelisted civ job. So we will have a ped where you can pick up a new ID, so it's not relying on if someone's in the server. But yeah, so DMV is coming. It's going to be all custom. I'm sure your question is more geared towards the boosted vehicles, I'm assuming.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I'm just more
so-
less concerned about like the ETA on it because I know there's a lot of boosted
there's-
cars that people want to
Yeah.
get registered.
We have a lot of really
Yeah.
good ideas for it.
Yeah, so the
I'll
thing
make
about boosted cars getting registered is there's going to be it's going to be very challenging to do that
Ugh.
still with the new DMV. I mean, boosting is a crime. I don't know if you guys I know that's a big hot topic and
It may have gotten
I mean-
lost on everybody.
Like,
Yeah,
even
that-
that, but,
that
like also like
boosting and
car crafting,
yeah.
people are doing that.
Um,
So
Yeah, car crafting different story.
Probably
But-
won't have as many stipulations.
Yeah. But I mean, you scratch a VIN number off a car, generally it goes to the chop shop,
Yeah.
You don't take it to a DMV and get it registered, but there will be an avenue to get I don't want to go too deep into that. Obviously it's crime, but yes, there's going to be very strenuous circumstances where you can get those cars registered, but it's not going to be a thing like
we
that's
won't be
just
discussing it publicly.
yeah, it's not just going to be a thing where I can go down to the DMV because I just scratched a S-Class car and throw, like boosting is a crime, guys. And I'm just sidebarring off your question, Marcos. I'm not saying that's what you were asking, but it's good to bring it up in front of everyone. Boosting is a crime. Scratching a VIN is a crime. So, but yeah, the ETA, I mean, I don't want to give a date. I don't like giving dates, but sooner than later.
I'm not
It's
seeing
definitely-
PM.
It's definitely on the top of our list of dev stuff to work on, but it is going to be fully custom, so it's going to take some time.
cool. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
Cool. All right, brother.
Hi,
Amelia, welcome.
how's it going? Hold up, my phone's being wonky. Anywho, a lot of my questions are already answered. Last question I have would be housing. Y'all mentioned that storages and everything will be like kind of reset. If you reach out and like this may have been stated, I don't quite remember. I didn't quite hear. If you reach out there can be housing compensation, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep, we
Okay.
have it on. We have it on a spreadsheet. People will get refunded for their houses again. We're gonna, lease path of resistance. We don't want a bunch of tickets open and complaints, so we're gonna refund for houses, storages. We're going to give people the vans to hold their stuff in if they want again for a limited time. Like we're gonna do all that same stuff we did last time.
Alrighty.
The new housing system, the way storages work is much different and it's much more beneficial for you guys. So I'll just leave that at that. So, but it's really
Alright.
cool. So cool.
I'm excited to see it. Thank you. That's all I
Yep.
had.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.
All right.
Hello.
John. Hello.
Super excited to hear the stuff you're talking with Unster about the social stuff. Like I was telling
Yeah.
him in general, it's super great for PD and all that, just so we have stuff to do that's not on
Yep.
duty. The question I got, because he asked what I was going to ask, is then, is there any kind of appetite for putting some kind of like known issue tracker that we can all see, just so we can get like a pulse on things that might be going wrong to expect, headache wise, or things like the hunting. People are speculating it's hunting that causes all the cars going invisible, shit like that.
I'll talk to the dev team about that.
Okay.
It's a lot of
I know a lot of stuff like that.
it's a lot
straight
of
up
busy
can't
work
share.
for them.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's not. It's more about, do I want my devs focused on typing notes up for everyone to see, or do I want them focused on fixing the issue? You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely, yeah.
it's been brought up in staff, just like to have one internally for staff, and it just creates so much busy work, and things evolve so much in the world of development,
Absolutely.
especially in 5M, that it's almost like untrackable. I'd have to have a dedicated person constantly tracking that. So if we can brainstorm up a way that it would be beneficial, it's something we might look into, but I don't want to give a definitive yay or nay on that.
Absolutely.
The other issue is
Yeah.
that we have developers from America, Europe, and Australia. So
Mhm.
getting them all to talk together to get those notes together as well makes another
Yeah.
boundary.
So
Sorry, my son's going off.
no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, the main thing I'm seeing there that at least that would make it great for me as a player is things like legitimately having just a small blurb about like, hey, we know that this is happening for all the objects going invisible because of the areas around, or when a lot of people are having the issue with the ground turning into like Play-Doh, things like that. Nothing like not a tracker for like every little individual bug, but like the big things that
Yeah.
are getting reported a ton.
Like a ton of that might be something we can do. Just like known bugs being worked on, major stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind of thing that I think a lot of people would be enjoying that, especially me though, since I constantly make tickets.
Yeah, no, I mean your tickets are great, by the way. They're helpful and beneficial. So keep making the tickets.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we can look into that.
All right. I appreciate y'all.
Cool. Yep. All right, we're gonna end at Eli.
How's it going? So first question is it possible for us to get a AFK challenge command where we just have to put it in a CAPTCHA to reset our AFK timer? Because I've had situations where I've literally been laying dead on the ground for 2 hours and I do not want to take the helicopter because it would ruin the scenario that I'm trying to establish. Also,
The CIA exists in the GTA universe, so don't you challenge my credentials, Gabba.
What happened?
Nothing, just talk
Oh,
shit.
make him do the voice again. Nice. Don't you hate that? That's awesome.
So wait. The first thing you asked though,
An AFK challenge
timer.
command. So obviously, if you don't move for 30 minutes, you get booted for AFK. But there's situations in RP where you, in the RP, cannot move.
Not if you're dead though, right?
Yeah, you are if you're dead. Like I know I was dead for 2 hours waiting for EMS or PD to be online. Shout out to Liam Taylor.
Okay. Open a ticket up about that for me.
Will do.
Yeah.
Also, dice command question mark.
Yeah, we're bringing dice back. That'll be
Bet.
part of like the fun shit to do, revitalization. But yeah, we'll bring back dice. That's easy.
All right, thank you very much.
So,
Have a good one.
cool. You too. Bridget,
Oh, hi.
welcome.
First thing, the storage boxes at the businesses that we have, is that going to be affected by the housing? Do we have to worry
Nope.
about? Okay.
Nope.
Another
All,
thing.
you know what will be though, and
What?
since you said it,
Mm-hmm.
any of the businesses that are decorating, they're going to lose all their decorations. But we are building a business 2.0 script that will allow you to decorate through the business script itself. So I'm sure Roxy's in here. She probably won't be too happy about that. But yeah, all
The
your
gang blocks
decorations
are
gonna-
losing that too.
Yeah, the gangs, everyone that has a housing set up to decorate in their MLOs, you will lose that.
Okay.
So
Another thing is there a way to purchase more of those boxes? Because I know us at Flywheels, we've been trying to get them for a
So-
while. So
there's I'm gonna phase those boxes out actually and build a different system that, you know, it'll be a system. The boxes have caused issues with, you know, my buddy got pissed and quit the gang and he was the leader and he's leaving the server and now we can't get in the box type stuff. So we're gonna rewrite it to where it's based on the
friends better.
Yeah, right. It's based on the business or it's based on the business or the gang name opposed to an individual. So that's kind of going to be on hold. But
Okay.
yeah. So
Because I have a lot of people that are coming to Flywheels that I'm so appreciative with
materials?
and like all this stuff.
I will increase the storage capacity for mechanic shops
Okay.
in the meantime because it keeps coming up. So I'll just do it.
It's just because like so many people are bringing so many materials. It's to the point where we don't have to buy that many performance items. We have enough materials to create it ourselves, which is amazing and totally appreciated to like the people that are selling it to us and giving us that interaction, you know, and making sure that, you know, they have fat pockets too. So
Yeah, no, I'll increase the storages for mechanic shops, the weight.
okay.
So cool.
Two questions. The other question, other hat. For EMS, we have only 2 ambulances, and we have a supervisor SUV. Give me 1 second.
She's like, give me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what happens when you raise 3 boys alone.
Oh, 3 boys,
Sometimes you
dang.
think you want to have like one of those like
Yep.
buzzer collars for dogs for kids. I'm like, shut the. Anyway, for EMS, we have 2 ambulances. One is a little cattywampus, so we're not able to use that often. Can we add a little bit to our fleet?
Right. Rathan?
We
Oh,
also
sorry, in respect to what part of EMS? Sorry.
the second
Ambulances.
ambulance that we have 1, and then we have another one that we've been advised to not touch. I don't know, that was advised before I was hired, so I don't know like the details of that.
The other ambulance, you mean talk the Speedo?
Yes.
I have got 5 or 6 different vehicles which I'm looking to bring in for a sub-department EMS, and I believe one of those packs involves a different ambulance. That is not the Sandstorm. That is a little bit more agile. Don't quote me on that. It's in
Okay.
a
She wants to know about non-ambulance vehicles, though. Is there any other vehicles we can?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Non-ambulance
like
vehicle.
supervisors and stuff like that.
Oh. Yeah. Literally, I've just been speaking to someone who's going to let us use their stuff without any restrictions on it.
Okay.
Cool.
And I know Nova brought it up earlier with a conversation with the whole MDT and being able to respond to people who call. There's a lot of times where, especially Mainstorm, where we are like constantly running nonstop, and we show up and there's no one there because they took local because there's no way for us to respond. Or even sometimes we have training and the person, we're giving them time to role play and actually make a good interaction with someone, and it does stack up the
Wait,
calls.
you guys can't respond through the medical script?
No, we can say that we're responding on the MDT and it shows which units are responding, but it doesn't extend the response to said victim
Okay.
or the patient.
Jeremy already added that to the dev suggestions ticket thing I have open for EMS.
All right, I'll fix that tomorrow.
And there's a few that we can probably have on a sidebar if
Okay,
you
yeah, I actually need to have a conversation with EMS in general, so we can sidebar that.
Okay, cool.
Frank, if you're in here, I haven't forgot about you, buddy. All
I
right.
tell him all the time, I'm like, I'm gonna come to this meeting, I'm gonna kick the door down, it's gonna happen. So
Yeah, no, we'll have a sidebar soon about it.
yeah, especially because Frank and I are kind of rebuilding it and everything, so we're trying to put it back together, and the interactions that we've been having in city are amazing and totally further than can I just have a band-aid, can I have an ice pack, which we have been so stoked about that.
That's good. Yeah.
And appreciate it, but some of these people, like I said, we can't respond to them and say, hey, you're third on the list, we know you're out there, we have you, we're going to send somebody as soon as we can, or we're on a training, it'll be a little bit, to kind of give them a little bit of a heads up of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll look at that tomorrow. I'll definitely get that done.
Yeah. And then the meeting about other inner stuff. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hello, how's it going?
Rich, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Yeah, so I've got a few little things. So you brought up the like laser tag, go karting and stuff like that. Can we get like bowling as well? Because I know there's a lot of in-city couples and stuff like that. It's just so we've got more to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll what we'll do in a few weeks is we'll kind of brainstorm up internally a bunch of activities that we can bring in, and then we'll kind of post those and get some feedback on them from the community. Do like a poll or something, and
Yeah,
then
that'd be
a
good.
place where people can add ideas. You know what I mean? It's
Okay, I've
definitely
got
something I want to focus on in the near future.
shout, man. I've got two other little things as well, which is the house robberies. At the minute, obviously, it's only really south side of the city. Can we get them in Sandy and Polito as well? So people aren't just sitting on them and then everyone else misses out.
No, but yes. There's a phase 2 to houses coming.
Okay, perfect. And the last one.
So no, you won't get those same houses. But yes, there's going to be house robberies that exist outside of the south side. But that's just phase 1 of house robberies in the first crime update. So hopefully that clarifies that.
Yeah, thank you. The last one is SAFR, so fire and rescue. Is there a potential that that could come into the city as well?
There is. We talked about doing it a while back, and then it kind of fizzled out. So when we have the EMS meeting, we'll see where the interest lies.
Yeah, from a vehicle standpoint, I've got stuff that if we decide to pull the pin, we could do that, but it's just the actual script side of it, which would have to be sorted.
Yeah, because I'd be all over that if that was the case. All right, guys, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. All right. Liam.
I thought I lowered my hand. I just want to speak to you. Add to your sidebar list for a later time. It's about the streaming stuff. Something that has been happening in City for as long as streaming and RP has been a thing that we're gonna have to combat. I would assume that people are gonna run into this as well.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
All right, I sent you a message.
Cool. Sounds good. Eli. I invited him. There we go. There he is.
Hey, I was wondering if I had another. So real quick, it's something that I've heard. Sorry, you got traffic. Something I've heard people kind of talking about a little bit is and I've been rumored looking for potential confirmation on that. Whether
And what? You're breaking up. You're breaking up, brother.
I'll send it in a ticket. I've got terrible signal.
Okay, yeah. Open a ticket. I'll respond to it. All right, we're gonna do these last three, then we're gonna start the server back up. Then you go quick, because you already had a shot. Going once, going twice.
Holy shit.
What's up?
What's the plans for Halloween?
We got big plans.
There are plans.
Big plans for Halloween.
Oh shit! Last year was sick. So.
Yeah, no, this year's gonna be twice as good as last year. So, big plans for Halloween. Spooky season. All right. I mean, our oldest co-owner Rez is the biggest fucking Halloween fanatic there is on Earth. So, you best believe spooky season exists around here. All right, is that all you got?
3 spirits.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, cool. Later. Bubbles quickly, and then Nova, and then I'm starting the server.
I forgot to ask earlier. So I think there's something with guns in the server that need to be addressed, and I'm actually addressing this from a cop side.
Yeah.
So,
You mean like the textures are all broken?
there's that. There's that.
Yeah.
But so I think that the architecture of the guns might need to be looked at. So for example, a 5.7 holds only 6 rounds. That seems ridiculous. I think the whole point of what I'm trying to get here, because I'm gonna go fast, is I don't want to see cops being loot boxed, because I've been chief of PD in other servers. I've been a cop. I was a cop main for a long time. Cops being loot boxed because their guns are that superior to criminal guns.
They're not though.
They're not.
They're not at all. They're not superior by any stretch of the over a 5.7. They are.
Right. So the only thing that I'm talking about is like potentially not changing damage modifiers. I think it would be worthwhile to look at just increasing magazine size on some of these guns. Like a 5.7 with 6 bullets, I feel like it doesn't make sense. An HK with 8 bullets doesn't really make sense. An FX.
How much does a Glock have?
The Glock has 12 bullets. So we're not even talking about like damage numbers. We're literally just talking about expendable rounds in a magazine.
So all the guns are tuned to time to kill though. They have nothing to do with like the damage modifiers have to do with the ammo clip sizes. Like
But,
for
yeah,
example, a
like
Deagle.
a 5.7 has 6 rounds though, but that thing's not putting people down in 6 bullets. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's not supposed to. It's a gun that you can buy at ammunition.
Right. But I just feel like it doesn't in RP doesn't make sense. Like 6 bullets in a 5.7, that thing should at least have a 12-round magazine.
It's not true. I don't know how many guns you own, but
Well, 5.7's
I got a fucking arsenal in the house, brother.
I mean, I do too. I got a Sig Sauer with a 15 round
Yeah,
magazine.
you know, so
I'm
there's
just saying, yeah, I just
multiple
think-
variants, but the guns are all tuned time to kill. So if you stand with a PD Glock, a Jericho, and a Deagle, and there's a triangle, and you all start shooting at the person across from you, you're all going to die at the same fucking time. You know what I mean?
So, but I'm saying
guns
like,
are
the
guns are
variable-
about the guns are about the flavor, right? The flavor of how you like Deagles, for example, shoot slower, hit you like a ton of bricks, but again,
accuracy is the name of the game with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just I do think that there is in the server the general mentality is that PD Glock is the gun. So I think again, if staff disagrees, totally fine. I'm just voicing stuff that I've heard.
That's always
yeah.
So I know the numbers, right? No one else knows the numbers but me.
Yeah, sure.
That is such a, like a 5M thing in every server. And that's like, it's really, I promise you guys it's not true here. Like the PD Glock is not the strongest gun in the server. It's just not.
Yeah, no, I think
And people immediately, especially new,
it has 12 rounds and it hits really hard. So I think the magazine size is the issue, not the damage. Because if I have to reload at 6, but you have double the bullets I have, you know what I'm saying? Or if even a Jericho,
yeah, but I'm
has
not
9
gonna.
bullets.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, but a 9-bullet Jericho takes you down. It does more damage than a 12-bullet Glock. That's my point.
I don't
promise you, bro.
You would know. You would know.
Yeah, I promise you, bro.
You would know. You would know. I'm just voicing some things that people have been talking about. So
yeah, no. So the 5.7 is designed to be like the best civilian gun you can get. You know what I mean? It should never. If I increase the amount of bullets in it, then you're going up. Like a 5.7 should not be going up against a PD Glock. You can still win. There's a lot of variables, accuracy, strategy, like all that kind of stuff. Like, trust me, I've seen the cops get. I've seen the cops get wiped by fucking Makarovs, bro. Like,
no, yeah, 100%,
you know, like,
100%. I was speaking more towards just like literally from a cop perspective, not even a crim perspective. I think that a lot of the cop.
Well, we haven't
that stuff comes from.
We don't have
like we want PD Glocks.
We don't have an issue with loot boxing cops right now, though.
Because you get banned for it, actually.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, there's a little bit of code that if you ain't a cop when you're shooting a fucking PD Glock, it rapidly decreases because you don't have the skill to shoot that. You know what I mean? So
right. No, for sure, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
The point being is that from my experience here, being in like a war and being in shootouts, all the top gangs, all the top shooters, they're using PD Glocks. There's a reason. There's a reason why. So I just think it's something to bring up. You know,
it's a mindset.
Nope.
That's
it
all.
Is.
There's no.
I'll take a look at it again.
Yeah.
It might be worth looking at.
I'll look into it. You know, I'll look into it. But it's what is the placebo effect? It really is, man. But
it's just crowd.
Yeah,
it's just
trigger
crowd
fill,
think.
bro.
Yeah.
It's just crowd think. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
No, I appreciate it, guys.
I'll double check them though. But yeah,
Yeah, and again, like this isn't coming from, hey, I'm a criminal, I want my gun to be better. It's more so like,
no, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? It's coming from the other side of like, getting loot box for your fucking gun sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, a PD gun being the gun in the server is like, what are we doing here? You know? It's like that's it's not fun for PD. It's not fun for crims. You know? Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. I'll hop off.
Thanks, buddy. Nova, welcome. You're the last one.
Hello?
Hello?
There you go.
My questions were already answered, but I do want to bounce a little bit off of Bridget and some comments that you made previously with RP and the EMS crew. We're there for the convenience of everybody, for the community, and to help everybody. But we still have too many situations where we have people walk straight past us and go straight to Nancy. And it's hard to RP with them when they don't want to interact with us.
So I need tickets opened and IDs for that. That is completely unacceptable. It always has been. If you refuse EMS RP and go straight to Nancy, you will get banned for that. 100%. 100,000,000%. We don't know if we don't see, right? So please, like, you know, it's always been the biggest problem with PD and EMS. It's always been like, oh, I'm not a rat. I don't want to tattle on people, but that's completely unacceptable. If people are doing that shit, I will be the one to personally ban them because it's horse shit. That's just treating you guys like a game mechanic. And it's not fair. You guys aren't game mechanics. You're here to roleplay. So again, I'm glad you brought that up. Everyone in here, if you don't give EMS the time of day that they deserve, then I'm going to give you the time of day that you deserve. And that's going to be watching your friend's streams because you can't play in the server. So
I don't know if we brought up the car dealerships too, but just if there's
Yeah,
people,
yeah, I
the,
did.
the door, their doors are okay. Yeah, the doors are
Yeah.
unlocked. There's people in there. They deserve their RP too. Everyone's RPing what they want to do for a reason. So let's give them that respect and
Yep.
give it to them. You know.
Yep. So
That's everything for me.
cool. Thanks, Nova.
Thank you.
All right, guys. It's been a great community meeting. Probably one of our longest yet. Sorry you couldn't hear me for the first 15 minutes. And I'm gonna get the server started right now, so it's coming back up. You guys can try to snipe the train. Again, much appreciated, everybody. We hit over 200 people in here today, which is really cool. So a lot of really, really, really good things coming. So you guys all take care, and we'll see you in city.